Season 4 of Star Wars Rebels is finally here, and I'm excited to share my thoughts about the episode Heroes of Mandalore. So let's get right into it. One of the things I was looking for going into this episode was just, what is the state of Mandalore? And I really thought we may not get a clear answer to this question by the end of the episode. But I was completely wrong. By the end of the episode, we see that Mandalore is mostly united behind Bo-Katan, so effectively they should be another part of the rebellion fighting against the Empire. I was also looking for any hints on whether or not Sabine might return to Mandalore in the future, and there really wasn't any hints about this, but I believe if Bo-Katan was to die, she might have asked Sabine to be her replacement. This way, during the original trilogy, we get Sabine and Ezra as part of the rebellion on Mandalore, which explains why we don't see them in Rogue One or during the original trilogy movies. The third thing I was looking for in this episode was hints of Ezra and Sabine's possible relationship. And although we did get some hints of Kanan and Hera's relationship, there wasn't much that I saw developing Ezra Bean. Sabine saves Ezra at one point. Ezra mentioned he's not with her, which I suppose confirms he may still have feelings for Sabine, but nothing really solid for you Ezra Bean fans out there, like my subscribers M and JJ and Roberto and lots of others too. So now I'd like to chat about some of the pros and cons of the episode. One of the points I really liked about the episode was Bo-Katan and how she refuses the Darksaber. It really shows that she has some self-doubt from past events that happened during the Clone Wars series. And whether you watch the Clone Wars or not, you could get a sense that she had a haunted past and that she had some of her own demons to overcome, similar to Sabine's journey. And it makes total sense that she becomes the leader of the Mandalorian Rebellion because she is the voice of reason and wisdom in this episode. She proves her honor and loyalty to Mandalore by convincing Sabine to destroy the weapon. I'm really looking forward to Turkland TV's thoughts on this particular point because he isn't the biggest fan of the Mandalorians, and the rest of you too. I'm wondering if you weren't a big fan of the Mandalorians, did this episode change your mind? As for one of the cons of the episode, this might seem silly, but why did the Mandalorians, these great warriors, fly around and shoot pistols at the AT-STs? They could have flown up on top of the AT-ST and planted explosives or opened up the top and taken out the drivers. Very similar to what Bo-Katan does to the TIE Fighter, which I thought was an awesome sequence, by the way. But instead, they just end up flying around and shooting their pistols. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But moving on to another great part of the episode, which was seeing the importance of the Mandalorian armor. It was short and to the point, but really made the point that this weapon was trying to not only destroy the people, but also the culture of the Mandalorians. The fact that Sabine's armor is 500 years old really hit home and was awesome to hear. So I could go on forever, but I decided to include some of your ideas as well. And although I haven't been able to hear from any of my YouTube subscribers, I did mention, or I did post rather, in the Facebook group, that's the Star Wars Rebels Facebook group, which if you're not part of, you really should be. And a couple people responded. I got John Gregory Cars, and he says, these episodes close the Mandalorian arc in Rebels, but leaves the door wide open for comics, novels, heck, even a movie that dives in deeper into what happens next. The last 5 minutes got me so excited with the possibilities of stories we could get. And John, I hadn't thought of this at all, but you're absolutely right. They left this wide open. One of the things, of course, I think I've already mentioned is that, it really leaves things set up so that Ezra and Sabine can come back and become part of that Mandalorian rebellion, and it explains why they're not there during the original trilogy. But yes, it would be absolutely fantastic to see a Mandalorian comic or novels and develop the background of Mandalore. Absolutely. Josh also mentions from the Facebook group, he mentions the intense passion and emotion shown between Sabine and her father, as well as the Mandalorian people as a whole, made this episode great. And Josh, I absolutely agree. I felt the emotion between Sabine and her father were absolute. It worked really well. The dialogue, the fact that her father was an artist, her mother was the warrior, and those two things sort of combined to make Sabine. It just made a lot of sense and was very cool to see. So, question of the day, guys. What do you think? Do you love the Mandalorians even more? Or if you weren't big fans of Mandalorians, do you love them more now? Has it changed your mind? And what are your favorite part of the episodes? I really actually enjoyed the just the ominous sort of look of Mandalore, and how Sabine mentioned that Mandalore was once beautiful fields and had been destroyed by the war, right? That really ties into that whole idea that war is horrendous, which I don't think was laid on there too thick, but there was plenty of it in the 2 episodes for sure. So yeah, let me know exactly what your favorite part of the episode was, and whether or not, it changed your mind on Mandalorians in general. Also, thank you so much for the kind comments, guys. I recently put out a new trailer. If you haven't checked it out, I'll try and have it linked up here. I might not, because I'm trying to get this out pretty quick, actually. So go check that out. It's on the channel. And thank you so much for all the people, the kind comments that you've left. Really hit home and made me feel awesome. So thank you so much for that. And as always, guys, if you haven't already, please head on over to the Force Within TV channel. Check out what's there, mostly Star Wars Rebels. And if you like what you see, subscribe as well. I just wanted to apologize. I did try to put up a comment in your subscriber feed about this episode to get some feedback from you guys. But as it turned out, I couldn't figure out how to do that. I've asked a couple people. I might try it again next week, so I apologize for that. But as always, guys, may the Force be with you.